And
Hello.
me! I got there.
And you.
Hey, welcome in, everybody!
Hello, hello.
Wow, we're here. You guys are here for Highlight Heroes. We've got a very special guest we're going to introduce in a second. But first off, Parker, how you doing?
I'm doing well. I enjoy that this is part of the bit now. You always are like, we'll introduce the person in a second. How are you doing, buddy?
I insist.
I'm good. I'm good.
I'm glad to hear. I'm glad to hear it. Okay, well, guys, we have Hailierosie here to talk about things and stuff.
Things and stuff.
Things and stuff.
And we are going to do that. But first, Haley, tell the people where they can find you. Where is all your stuff?
Yeah, my name's Haley. It's spelled really funny, so I'll spell it for you. H-A-I-L-I-E. Rosie on pretty much everything. If you type that in, you should find it. So yeah. Anything? What am I doing recent?
Yeah, what are you doing soon? What's going on? What projects you got going?
Actually, the next one I'm doing is here. I'm gonna be on Cause Playground coming up. I believe it's next month.
It's Sunday.
Gotcha. It's on Sunday. Yeah, so I'm very excited about that. I want to dress up and play games very badly. So
that's a show we do. Oh my gosh.
That is a show you got. Yeah.
We do that show.
Wow. And Parker does all the planning and stuff for that, right, Parker?
I do all the planning.
This is true.
You guys should come watch that show because
it will be very fun.
Haley's an incredible cosplayer.
Very excited. I've watched the cast.
Read what it's about, and I'm very excited. It's a neat concept, and I think everyone's gonna like it a lot.
Alec is our DM for this one, is that right?
Yes.
Oh, you're in for a treat. He's a very good dungeon master.
It will be very fun. Yes,
it's going to be very, very fun.
Community DM. Hey, okay, cool. Well, before we start asking you questions, we're gonna do some beautiful announcements. So, Parker, take it away, boss.
Okay, I'm here with your schedule this week that I feel like I should apologize to Josh for because we have a lot of scheduling. So thanks for being here for the first thing we do this week. We also have Ever Changing Arena on Wednesday. Captain Gill is going to be premiering on this channel as the GM, so that'll be super fun. Then we've got Rails on its normal time on Friday, Conundrum Company normal time on Saturday, and then as we said, Cosplayground. Oh gosh, I'm gonna say this wrong. Pelgun's Pillars of Adventure. I can't. Is Cosplayground this Sunday with Commune. It'll be very, very fun. And then we are going to be announcing a new community event soon with something special involved in that community event. So look out for that. Yep, Josh.
That something special is so cool.
It is very cool.
I know it's shiesty to not tell anybody what it is and hype it up, but it's very good.
Very good.
Oh my gosh, yeah, none of this amazing content could be brought to y'all without our fantastic sponsors, the first of whom is Skull Splitter Dice. Skull Splitter Dice, not only do they sponsor our programming, but they also sponsor a giveaway that you can get on during our campaigns. We're not going to run it today because, it's a shorter format, but you should click on the link in chat. Go take a look because they have some very cool dice products. I use them regularly, and they're very good. They've been a fantastic partner, Skull Splitter has. They're just wonderful folks, really easy to work with, very good people. So go check them out, show them some love. Of course, our second sponsor is the gooeyest of cube companies. That's Gooey Cube. They make a bunch of D&D 5e supplemental content for game masters to use at their tabletops. A whole world homebrewed from the very ground up for you to use. It comes all packaged together. You don't have to do any homebrewing. So if you don't have time to do it, this is the product for you. The link is in chat. Go take a look at Gooey Cube, my friends. Huge shout out to all our campaign members and of course Tanner Mithaldor for helping us get our Twiki, our Twee Wiki up and running. It looks really good. There's a lot of information on there. The link's in chat. Take a look. And of course, last but not least, our charity. This month, we'd like to have focus on St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. The mission of St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital is to advance cures and means of prevention for pediatric catastrophic diseases through research and treatment. Consistent with the vision of our founder, Danny Thomas, their founder, no child is denied treatment based on race, religion, or a family's ability to pay. Guys, this is a very, very good and important charity. St. Jude's has been around forever. I challenge you to not have had somebody who has been in your life and impacted by this charity. It is incredible, and it is very, very good. So instead of buying bits, instead of subscribing, instead, you know what? Click on that donate button in the About Us section, or click on the link in chat. Go over there, make a donation on behalf of somebody who really, really needs it. We would very much appreciate it. And with that, we can do Highlight Heroes.
We did it.
We did
We made it.
Thanks
We
for
made
sitting through it, Haley. Okay, we're going to talk about painting projects, right? Okay.
Yes.
I'm painting this. It's a miniature. Oh, it's falling up. It's not a miniature. It's a figure that I've been working on. I'm doing a
It is
repaint.
a broken miniature.
Now that I've thrown it, yes. It's a figurine that I nabbed because I'm into repainting toys now. That's how nerdy I've become. Parker, what you got?
To no one's surprise, I'm painting another dragon. I'm painting an ancient blue dragon because they finally got this figure into my game store. So I'm going to paint Big Bims.
Big Bims! Big Bims was in Evers, the first ever Evers.
Yeah, the first ever Evers.
Okay. So now onto the really important project. Haley, what do you got for us?
I've got. Everyone's gonna yell at me because I don't know the name of this snake, and we said it before we started. But this guy, he's got 6 heads.
UNT. What was it? Aberration?
It was
Yeah.
Amalthea. It was Amalthea, I think.
Wow.
It was incredibly intense. I saw a snake. I've never painted a mini before. This is why I do not know the names. So I've never painted a mini before. And I figured snake is very slender. See, no crevices. Not a lot of crevices.
You were like, I'm picturing you going through the aisle of like minis and being like, too much stuff. And like looking too much stuff. Like I do that, except I go too small. And I put it back down and I go too small. And then we get to like this size and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll do that.
Yeah, I picked a bigger one because I was like, I will be doing it for a little bit. So I need something bigger, but it cannot have like a fold. It needs to be just a big tube for me to paint for the next
way you articulated that, it was like you were like, I want something like a snake. When you like were envisioning this, and then you walked up to the shelves and there was a big snake, and you're like, oh yeah, this is Dungeons and Dragons, yeah.
That is exactly how it went.
Oh, that is brilliant.
I knew they had a snake there, so I got my snake, and it worked out great.
So this is your first time painting, but your brother paints, is that right?
My brother paints a lot, so I stole all of his paints. He's at work. I went into his room. I paid for some of them.
Don't tell anyone.
I paid for some of them. Don't tell him. He won't watch this. He doesn't. He's not interested in anything I'm up to.
Oh, charming.
Siblings.
It's a sibling thing.
It's a
for
sibling.
Sure.
That's valid.
Exactly.
That's valid.
He's like, why would I want to watch you talk for an hour? I do that every single day. And I'm like, that's fair.
I wish I could say my family looked at my stuff, but they don't.
That could be a good thing.
I'm just going to stare at the camera and send that clip. If somebody could clip that, I'm going to send that to my
so
parents.
that you can send it to your
parents.
My dad listens to us sometimes when he's like working on stuff. That's very fun.
That is very sweet.
Oh, that's so good. I'm excited to see what you come up with. I will forewarn you, because you're being asked a million questions, nobody ever gets anything done during this show.
100% sure I will not get anything done.
Okay. I'm glad to hear it. We're all in the same boat. All right.
For all I know, we've just been talking for like 20 minutes. I have no sense of time either, so.
Close to with announcements. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, with that, it's time to ask the big questions.
Yeah.
Which is Parker first.
I think it is me first. I was like, it's usually you, and then I was like, we got to that already.
Well,
hello. All right, I'm back. I'm here. I was looking at my paints, trying to figure out what blue to start with, and was not paying attention. My first question: how'd you get into D&D and TTRPGs in general? If you didn't start with D&D.
I definitely did start with D&D. Well, originally in high school, before I ever played D&D, I was in a LARP group.
Oh.
We had like a LARP club in high school, which was really neat and only lasted for 2 years because LARP, the club that we had, there was a lot of infighting that wasn't LARP related. You'd like to think they'd only fight about, dragons and teams and stuff, but no. So it did it did disintegrate, but I got to play with them D&D, and I enjoyed that, and I continued playing that after it dissolved. And yeah, I remember playing it for the first time. I think my first character was a halfling. I think I played a barbarian halfling because I was like, that's fun. And I love
that's
punching
cool.
things. Not in real life, but in video games. I gotta be able to punch or else I can't do anything.
When there are no repercussions, it's great.
Ex- exactly. I need to be able to say whatever I want to and be able to back it up with fists. So I played a barbarian halfling, and I just remember I remember giving a speech to one of the characters. There was a guy in the group who played a very did not want to exactly participate very much and was playing a loner character. But a loner, you guys know what I'm talking about.
Lone
Like,
wolf, yeah.
a loner, I'm gonna do whatever I want kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Party
gave a
goes
really...
one way, they go the other way.
Exactly. And I gave him a very big, empowering speech and then rolled like an 18 because we needed to roll to convince him to actually stay with the party.
Interesting.
And I remember giving the speech and I was like, this is very fun. I was like, I very much enjoy the role-playing aspect of this and like trying to convince somebody in this fantasy world that they should have a good time and hang out and go on adventures. So I got really into the role-playing in high school. So I've kind of stuck with it a lot. And I think that's like, you know, part of the reason I enjoy cosplaying and all that kind of stuff, you know, getting into like a fantasy world where you can be and say what you want. It's very, very fun.
I really, it's cool to see folks who have like that LARP origin.
Yeah.
What got you into LARPing? Just out of curiosity. This isn't on the list of questions we gave you. We're already off the rails. 7 p.m. every Friday. Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
I was just I was just about to say, different show. I cannot remember what exactly got me into LARPing. I know that I wanted to do fantasy stuff. I've always been into nerd-related things, mostly video games before high school. Before high school. And I was just like, you know what? A couple of my friends were also considering it, so it's kind of like, oh, if we all go, we can all hang out at the same place, and we'll see if we like it together, sort of thing.
Yes.
And I very much so did like it. We played a lot of like very fantasy, extra capture the flag kind of stuff. And that was very, very fun. I liked building the weapons, which I had already been cosplaying at that point. So I was like, anything where I can build something.
You're set.
I'm set. Yeah, I don't have to think too hard about if I want to do that. I get to build a big sword and then hit somebody with it next week, so that'll be very fun. And that was kind of the vibe. And yeah, I enjoyed LARP while I was in it. It was very, very fun. And I want to start doing it again, but COVID and also you know, I'm in college right now, so it's a little bit busy.
Oh, that does tend to consume time.
It does consume time for some reason.
It's weird how that works.
Crazy that you know, this 4 years of education is time consuming. But you know, I'll finish college and then I'll start LARPing again. It will be very fun.
Hell yeah. Okay, so you've told us kind of how you got into D&D. So in your time playing, what is your favorite class to play?
I have not strayed too far from like fighting martial classes, I guess.
Nice.
I like to fill the void of what we are missing. I'm one of those that'll be like, I'll play whatever you guys want, or whatever, you know, kind of rounds out this group a little bit.
Yeah.
And every group I've been in has wanted to do like magic stuff or cleric, paladin, healer types. So I've always kind of filled the gap of, I'll be something martial for you guys. Most of the time I play barbarian, so I'm very partial to that. I like being big and punchy. But one of my other favorite characters I've played is Monk. I really, really have enjoyed I only have one character that's a monk. But I picked I believe it's like brawler class of monk. It's like the only one that doesn't use key points because I was like, that's complicated.
Is that the open fist or whatever? Maybe.
Yes,
I
believe so.
Okay.
I think so.
I'm not a monk expert, but
I never played one.
I really enjoy playing monk. I think it's very, very fun. I watch a lot of Critical Role. I loved Unsleeping City. Not Critical Role. Dimension 20.
Dimension 20!
Yeah, and I watched Emily play a monk as well, using key points, which was really interesting because it's a very different experience than obviously without key points.
That's awesome.
But big fan of monk. I think it's a really neat class, and I think it should be more popular.
It's not a very popular class. That is an accurate statement. We get a lot of people saying it's like their least favorite class, in fact, in this show.
No, I'm all about ease. I can't be thinking too hard when I'm playing D&D.
You and I are cut from the same cloth, by the way.
Yeah. If it's hard, absolutely not. I'm here to have a good time.
Everyone's like, I want to be a spellcaster, and I'm like, I want to hit first, and spell casting maybe afterwards. If it I like clerics, but they have to be punchy clerics, not casty clerics.
Mm-hmm. That's like maybe I would play a paladin because I can also carry a big sword and do damage.
One smash
and heal people sometimes. Yes.
Yeah,
I have to be able to smash
for sure. Mood.
If I'm in a fantasy world, I'm gonna say some pretty mean things to people who are mean to me, and I need to be able to back that up 100%.
I will start shit. I love that.
I will start and end shit.
I love
That's
that.
all of my character.
I will start the fight and I will end it as well.
Oh, that's amazing. What a philosophy.
Which is maybe not the best, realistically, but we're not playing realistically.
No, we're playing Dungeons and Dragons.
I'm gonna punch the dungeons and the dragons if I want to.
Blessing. I recently played Barbarian for the first time and then immediately made another one.
Oh, you liked it?
It was very fun. And I usually am very much the spellcaster think a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Think a lot, talk a lot, charisma out the ass character. So it was very fun to kind of just be like, I hit that twice while angry. Yeah. And that was it. Like, I was like, I did it.
Yeah, I hit twice while angry and it did 50 damage. Yeah. It was very fun, yes.
So actively wanting someone to hit me very rarely happens with my other classes, so I'm like, please hit me. I have a lot of hit points.
I can just take it. Yeah, go ahead, hit me, I don't care. Very fun.
I'll do it.
Zealot
All right. So that's your favorite class. Do you have like a favorite race or one that you tend to lean more towards?
I've noticed this creating characters recently. I have a hard time. I don't have a favorite class in particular, but I have noticed that physically, all of my characters must look like me. I'm like, I need to get over this. For some reason, I'm like, well, if I get to play a game in a fantasy world, I want to be in the game in the fantasy world, which I'm trying to stray away from. I'm trying to create more unique
With
characters.
your LARP background, though, it does make a lot of sense. And as a cosplayer, you want to be able to cosplay the character.
Yeah.
So it's like they can't be too far from me because then that makes it very difficult for me to be that.
Exactly. I have one Ganassi character. I don't know if you guys say that differently. Ganassi?
No, that's right.
Okay.
I love Ganassi.
Yeah, and I was like, can't cosplay that. It glows. So I was not a fan of that character.
Oh my gosh. That's so funny because Button and I both have played Ganassi in our in Conundrum Company on Saturdays, and we have both cosplayed them, and it's been an interesting, like, how do we translate this
into something that I can put on my body?
Into something that is actually there. So it's been very interesting. I do get that, though. I constantly tell myself, I'm like, I will eventually stop making myself body paint, but that's probably not ever going to happen.
That's why I've never played a tiefling. I will not paint my body if I do not have to. I do want to. I think tiefling is going to be one of the next races that I play. I want to eventually try them all out. They all have really interesting designs, and I'm like really into all of them. But they all do end up. I'm like, oh, they're like 5'6" and they have brown hair, and like I give them freckles because I want freckles in real life. I'm like, I need to stop doing the exact same thing over and over.
You know what? There is nothing wrong with a little self-insert. Nothing wrong at all.
I would argue that it's a lot of self-insert.
I mean, even a lot. You do you. It's your fantasy
No,
game, right?
It is a fun fantasy game that I'm playing. I can do whatever I want mostly.
Yeah.
True that.
So,
Okay, so you've talked about kind of your favorite class to play. Is there a class you want to try next that you haven't tried out yet?
I have a game that I'm gonna start very soon with Captain Gill, who is playing on Wednesday, but this is a home game that we're gonna be doing. And I am playing, which I'm very excited about, a druid, and I'm gonna take a couple ranger classes, I think. So that's way out of my comfort zone, but I am very excited about this character.
That's awesome. Can we get any little spoilers, or is that a no-go?
Ooh.
What's the aesthetic? Maybe can you give us aesthetic?
What's the aesthetic?
Yeah. If you can't, you tell me no. Josh, shut up.
I can give you. I'm playing a Firbolg.
Yes.
But half human, half Firbolg kind of vibes.
Oh, interesting.
Kind of in the middle. And it's a very homebrewed world. So it's kind of like new fantasy, but there's like old tech from like an apocalyptic kind of thing.
Interesting.
And I'm playing a character that is from a group that does not like the technology very much because it ended the world. So her kind of group is like, no, let's not do the tech again. I don't want to get too into it, but
that sounds amazing.
She wants to save her sister. That's like all I want to say. I don't know if anybody else who's going to be in. I don't want anybody who might be in the campaign to watch this and then be like, oh, I know everything.
Don't feel pressured at all. You do not need
But I am very excited to play her because it's very out of my comfort zone. I've always wanted to play a druid.
They are very powerful.
Druids is one of my favorites.
Yeah, I want to be able to wild shape really bad. I've always wanted to become an animal.
I just want to be an animal.
I think that's going to be very, very fun. I'm wildly excited to try that out. And it's got magic. I have to learn magic. So.
It's easy. You got this. You got this.
We'll see.
I believe.
So I want to believe.
You got this. So let's see. I think we talked about this a little bit, but is the race you want to try next Tiefling? Or is there another one?
I would say I think I'm planning Tiefling next. I am just trying to work my way through the index.
I feel that.
What is the other? It's not Tabaxi in this, but the cat.
Dwarf. You want to play dwarf?
No.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Thank you.
My bad.
It is Tabaxi in D&D.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. I was like, no, that's Skyrim. Okay.
I think it's Pathfinder. Pathfinder, it's like catfolk. But
yeah, I used to play Pathfinder. That's why.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
a little bit.
First edition?
I cannot tell you which one it was.
That's valid. It's a big game. That's a complicated one.
It was very difficult. I had a DM for a while that was like, no, I only play Pathfinder. And I was like, please stop. I'm confused.
You were like, but what if we did something else?
What if we did not do Pathfinder? Maybe. But I do know it kind of well now. 5e's easier. So, I'm a simple lady. So.
It's less bulky.
Yes. But I've recently played a mouse folk. And that was very fun. I'm very attached to this character. So I was like, I'll try a cat next because, I did the mouse, now it's time for cat. Oh, I also love turtles.
Turtles are great.
So cute. I would love to play a turtle monk one day. I think it'd be very, very fun.
Mutant Ninja Turtle?
Oh, wait. Maybe I can't.
Yes,
I mean, that sounds like all the more reason to do it to me.
Actually, yes. Just throw in some some fun little hidden
Like my
Easter
character
eggs.
loved pizza.
Yeah.
They were trained by a big rat.
Yeah.
Josh
all that
did a one shot forever and a day ago before the N was a thing that was based on the filter that like gave you a class and a race and stats.
Oh,
And
that's so fun.
I had to be a white dragonborn, or I had to be a dragonborn cleric, and so I made her a blue eyes white dragon, and I based her entire personality off of the Yu-Gi-Oh card because like I thought it was great. She had 2 sisters. It was a whole thing. It was great. So I'm here for the meme characters, honestly.
I absolutely love that.
Yeah, it was very fun.
Meme characters are always legendary.
It's the reason you play D&D.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Especially when it takes a little bit for your friends to catch on for the meme. That's always my favorite.
Best.
Surprise.
I
So,
played one.
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh,
Go
I was just gonna say one of our meme characters my friend had in our campaign turned out to be Link from Legend of Zelda, and it took us forever to get it. We were like, I have no idea what this man could be. And they were like, yeah, he's carrying a bunch of masks with him, and he doesn't talk, and he has some musical instruments, and there's a little fairy that follows him, and I was like, I don't get it. Legend of Zelda is one of my favorite games, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, I know this is a joke, but I'm just not getting it. It took me forever. But worth it. Link is very cute, and I was excited he was in our game.
That's adorable and very clever.
It was very clever. It was a pull I was not expecting.
So
As we were playing a Naruto themed D&D.
Oh my god.
I brought Link to a Naruto game.
That's why I wasn't getting it. I forgot that was a very key element. It was a Naruto themed D&D campaign.
They were like, I got no idea who this guy is.
Did they run around smashing pots a lot? Like, did they go out of their way to do that? This player?
No.
Well, shoot.
This was like an NPC, like from the DM.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, he was like more of like a low-key traveling salesman kind of type. Like he would show up and try to sell us masks.
Got it. Neat.
I was not getting it.
Okay, so you've told us about your kind of favorite class you want to try next. What's your least favorite class? This is where the hot takes come in. Least favorite class?
This is not a hot take, it's the correct take. And it's sorcerer. Why is it so complicated? I couldn't tell you how to play it. We played a game for my 22nd birthday this year.
Yeah.
And it was my family, and my mom wanted to play a sorcerer, and I was like, oh god. So I took the sorcerer class and I homebrewed it, I guess, to make it incredibly easy. I was like, you have 4 spells, pick out of this list. Basically, I was like, this is a nightmare. I'm not gonna teach my mother how to play a sorcerer for one game of D&D. There's too many spells, too much is going on. Let's make this way simpler.
That's fair. I like to try like new classes and new races for one shots that I'm in, and I have avoided sorcerer like the plague. It's one of the only ones that I haven't done yet, just because I'm like, it seems I also avoided monks because I was like, key points. I was like,
the monk without key points. I was like, no.
ooh, I was like, I don't know. It's just one game. I don't want to be thinking rules the whole time.
No, the first and one of the only spellcasters I've ever played was a warlock, because I was like, oh, that's easy. I get that. And that was on here, so I was very nervous because it had a lot of fighting. But it ended up working out great, and I still don't understand why sorcerer has to be so difficult. Just make it easy. You know, I'm sure if I understood it, it'd be really, really cool. But I have no plans anytime soon to learn.
Fair.
Valid. Very valid. Okay. So there you have it, folks. Can
Sorcerer
confirm.
sucks. Everyone should agree, but you know.
That is your new truth. You must accept it.
If you know how to play sorcerer, that's all you're allowed to play. Because nobody else should be forced to learn how to do something.
Like, this is
so
your
difficult.
job now.
You are the sorcerer, period.
You're stuck with that one class forever.
Like,
forever.
You do that.
You learned.
It was your fault. Your mistake.
You made this decision. That's funny. So let's see. Do you have a least favorite race to play?
I haven't tried them all, so I can't really say if I do.
Is
I
there
don't
one
think-
that just doesn't interest you?
Not particularly. I feel like I don't know. I don't really follow like what they say the races are at all. I just mostly go, this is what I look like. Like I don't really use it as anything besides like a reference point, I guess, of like what I look like. I even like in most of the games that I've played, my DMs have been like, oh, if something makes more sense for you to have like a skill, do that one instead of the one that is given to you, like racial bonuses and stuff. Like, oh, sure, if you're a cat, it makes sense that you're kind of light-footed, so you might have like a +1 to dexterity. I'm not sure exactly what Tabaxi have, but overall, I feel like it should be a lot looser.
They've literally added that to the game now, where you can just you can do custom backgrounds, and you can also do skill allocation based on your history rather than your race, which I think it's been very good. I like it.
I agree with that because, you don't know every character's story ever. I don't think you should be put in that kind of box. I think it's just a good reference point to be like, this is what this might look like for you. But, it's fun to homebrew. Like, I'm homebrewing like half Fearbulk for my next campaign. Because I'm like, I want the cute ears and the cute nose and I want to be tall. So I'm just coming up with whatever because I think they're good reference points, but whatever you want with it.
That's awesome.
It's D&D. So I don't think there's a least favorite. I think I'd probably try to play all of them at some point.
That's really good to hear, honestly.
Yeah.
That's such a positive perspective.
Yeah, I don't think there's any design that, even if I didn't like a design that I saw one time, I don't think I've ever seen a race design that I was like, no. I think I believe in fully homebrewing what Drow look like. I'm like, that sucks. Let's do it different. I love the idea of like translucent skin kind of Drow. I'm like, that's really pretty. Like homebrewing that kind of stuff. I think that's like, I'm like, I made that better. So that's what they look like in my head. But yeah, definitely adjusting everything to be the way that you want it. I feel like that's really loose because with classes you have a lot of rules. So, this is how you play this class. Race, I feel like there's like, you can kind of make it up.
Yeah.
It's D&D. Yeah.
So, okay, we're kind of through like our little kind of cutesy get to know your D&D questions, and we're on to the big ones. We've got 2 more left, and then audience, it's your chance to ask questions. So start getting ready to ask questions. We're going to read them out when you do. It's easiest for us to catch them if you highlight them. Now, we know some folks might not have the channel points to highlight. Just ask your question, and then the mods will try and get to it and highlight it for you. Our audience is really good about that. But go ahead and ask your questions, highlight if you can. But we got 2 more for Parker and I. The first one being, you're a content creator, right? What was the beginning of that journey? Like, how did you get into content creation?
Content creation, I feel like TikTok did a lot for me, like especially like over quarantine. But even before that, like being able to like, I feel like TikTok does not lend itself as much as it used to. To content creation, but in 2019, like early 2020, I was like, this rocks. I'm really enjoying this, and getting videos out there and like finding a source of motivation to do cosplay, even if I'm not going to conventions or like making anything, but like being able to be like, oh, I have a place where I can go dress up and people will see it and we can all wear cute little cosplay outfits and hang out. I don't think it lends itself as much anymore, but overall, TikTok helped, I can say.
Was that kind of the launching point? You were cosplaying before TikTok, right?
Yeah, I was cosplaying for a very long time. Like, my first con was in, like, middle school. Wow. I dropped off a little bit in high school. But, high school I got busy and all that kind of stuff. So it ended up not happening as much then. But definitely, like, when I started getting back in college, and like I said, yeah, college gave me a lot more time to like do what I wanted to. And yeah, so I dropped off a little bit in high school, but content creation didn't really start until college.
Gotcha.
When I had the time for it.
So it's very much con focused cosplay, right? Like heading.
Yeah, like I would like go there, and my first cosplay ever was a Homestuck cosplay, so that dates it.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what got me into cosplay. And I would see people go to conventions, and I was like, I want to do that.
I enjoy the juxtaposition of you saying that and then saying that you didn't want to body paint for your D&D character.
It's been a long history of me body painting.
You're like, listen, if I have to be gray again, I will die.
I keep wanting to remake my Homestuck stuff. I know it's like in a box somewhere in my attic. I'm like, I want to take it out one day, but like, am I strong enough? Like,
am I ready for that?
Am I ready to like fully put that
emotionally?
But yeah, that was definitely my first in middle school, but it wasn't like content, you know what I mean? Like I wasn't like posting on Instagram really or anything like that. But yeah, TikTok helped. Not anymore, but it did at one point.
It was at one point helpful.
Yes.
That's a very shared experience
Relatable.
for a lot of us. Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like it.
Incredibly relatable.
I've had to like emotionally force myself to make TikToks the last few months because I'm like, everything I make, TikTok hates it.
Yep.
So I just focus on other things now, and it's still fine. So bye-bye TikTok, but it was fun while it lasted, and it helped get me into the groove of making things again, which is nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So we are on our last question. Josh, I'm at a great point to stop painting, so I will read things from the chat. But our last question is, what is your biggest hobby outside of D&D?
Oof. I want to say cosplay. They don't stray too far from each other. I feel like cosplay, D&D kind of goes hand in hand. I feel like a lot of people... it overlaps quite frequently. Otherwise, I don't know if this is exactly a hobby. Lately I've been into reading lots of horror novels. I'm really into the horror genre in general, and one day, I wouldn't say I'm good enough now, but to write horror-related content, which is why I like Call of Cthulhu so much, because it lends itself well to creating horror content. But I guess that's like my less nerdy hobby, which is why I felt like I should bring that one.
No, like, is that less?
Is horror less nerdy? I feel like a lot of people who like horror end up being pretty nerdy in the end, anyways. But that's the only thing I can think of that I've been doing that doesn't directly relate back to cosplay. So
fair.
Valid.
Yeah.
All right. I was ready for Josh to say something about his Grim Hollow book.
No, I won't do it. I'm a good boy. I love horror too.
Uh-huh.
You can talk about horror.
I love grim dark, and I love ambiance, and I love atmosphere, and I love spooky, and it's the best. And you have fantastic taste.
And I'm one of his players, and I'm a little baby bitch. So it's great.
I love being scared though. Like I am also a baby bitch. But I love horror. It's so much fun. I like feeling very, very scared. Last night I downloaded Dead by Daylight. I don't know if you guys have played it.
Yeah.
I haven't played it.
I was on the phone with my boyfriend playing it, and I was sweating and shaking because I was so scared to be the survivor. And you hear the heartbeat of the survivor when you're playing, like when the killer is close, and I'm like, I'm terrified. I'm so scared right now. But I was like, this game rocks, like at the same time. So it's a I wouldn't call it a love-hate relationship, but a love-fear relationship with horror.
You're like you're a love being scared kind of person. I like that.
I do. I appreciate when I'm scared really, really good. So, horror is very fun, and I love seeing it when I play role-playing games, because I like role-playing being terrified. So, it's fun.
Valid.
Is that valid? I love being so scared. Valid.
I mean, there's a lot of people like that. We don't yuck yums here at the Welcome Inn.
Oh, of course.
We don't yuck yums.
let's see. Our first question from chat is from Methallador. He asked, if you could cast Find Familiar in real life, what would your familiar be?
Ooh.
Always a very good question.
I love that
that's
question.
that's a hard question because it's like it's not what animal are you most like, it's what animal would be like your companion.
Your ideal companion, yeah.
I feel like with my luck it would be an animal that I'm like, oh great, it's kind of useless. Not that familiars are useless, but I get like, when
I don't use mine at all for what its intended purposes are.
It's cute though.
It's very cute, and I made sure it was never going to be allowed to die. And
what is it?
So Bims, the little pseudo dragon that I have in
that's
the campaign,
cute, though.
we essentially came upon a pseudo dragon and wrote it to where my bard and him like bonded, and then he became her familiar because Josh knew I was terrified to let him die, and so I took the spell slot Find Familiar, and it was
so it worked out great. Is what you're
just
saying.
don't kill him. Yeah, I've never used him for his intended purposes, not once.
Mm-hmm. I think my deal would end up being like in Harry Potter when Ron gets his frog and he's like, what am I supposed to do with a frog? Like, are you kidding me? Oh no, it's a rat. He has a rat.
It's a rat.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
bad. He's like, great, I have a rat. Everyone else has an owl. What am I supposed to do with a rat? That's
And then it
my
turns
luck.
out to
I
be
feel
a
like-
human being, polymorph.
Yeah,
hopefully not. That would be terrifying. That is horrifying.
that's honestly a great idea.
That would be great.
That would be a great
very
idea.
But I don't know. I think I'd like a little squirrel. I think that would be really cute.
Aw.
Very
As somebody
cute.
who plays like punchy characters in there, like if I had a familiar and it was a little sneakier than me, that would be incredibly convenient.
You said
Valid.
squirrel, right? And then you were like, and I play martial classes, and all that came to my brain was like Squirrel Girl, like the comic book character.
God, that would be such a fun character.
That would be so cute. But that's all that I could picture when you were like, yeah, a squirrel. And
I'm gonna write that down after
Punch
this is
thing.
over.
That is an
Yeah.
excellent meme
Squirrel Girl
character.
is very cute and would be a very relatable character for me. That would be so fun.
it would be
But-
very cute.
I can imagine like a little squirrel. I think that would be really cute
I
and
love that.
fitting. I think that would
Yeah.
be very fun. And it's not totally useless. I don't have like an eel. An eel familiar is probably one of the most useless that I can think of.
On the land. You're like,
land,
there's
that's
nowhere
what
for
I'm
me to
saying.
be, nowhere for me to put this. I
I
can't
just
put
them
this
on my
anywhere.
belt. Like, what am I supposed to do? Ugh.
You have to carry
There's
around
like
a
one
vat of
situation where the eel would be the ideal familiar, but every other situation, absolutely not.
Oh
So,
my gosh. Let's see. So,
water. The ideal eel.
Mr. Adup says, strangest D&D experience. What's your strangest D&D experience?
I can only think of like bad D&D experience. I can't think of anything like strange necessarily.
Oh no.
I've only had like a couple bad D&D experiences. Most of them were very, very good. Strangest. I don't know how. One of my characters one time, I'll just go for it. I've been told that I can say most things on here.
Yeah.
One time my character had sex with a centaur, but she was a human woman. So
You're like, that was pretty weird. That was
it's strange. I would say that's definitely strange.
Yeah.
It ended up being the he was like a chief centaur or the leader of their centaur group. It was his daughter. So we had to get out of there pretty quick.
Whoops.
Big mistake. Big mistake.
Weirdly
character
has happened on this channel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
What?
Restrada didn't. I'm pretty sure Restrada in Off the Rails also was
Said that they
intimate with the
have
centaur.
also-
Yeah,
Mhm.
if I recall correctly.
You know, I did tell the DM before. I was like, I do want to bone something strange, and they let it happen. So, I guess I got what I asked for.
Just a
But-
heads up.
I enjoyed that
heads
the DM was like, yes, but it is going to have these repercussions
It will have
when you
deep
do this.
repercussions.
Yeah.
You should punish me for asking for something terrible. So,
You're like, there you go. That's what it is. Captain Gill asks, what's your dream group to play with?
that's cheating. Are you saying like famous people or like my friends? Like
There was no specification.
I think
I like the
it's
sentiment.
loaded. Yeah, you're gonna have to decide how you answer that question.
There's a safer one. You can set the clarification now.
Oh, okay. I can name like a few people. Like, if I were to like sit down and think about it, I'm like, how are these people gonna work together?
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea. But I think we're all decent Dimension 20 fans.
Mhm.
I love Emily
Very
Axford.
good.
I
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
seeing somebody else who is at the table who's like, this was like really, I don't know, this is gonna sound kind of weird. It was like, it felt really good to see somebody at a table who was also like loud. Because like I always feel very, in like the best way, because I'm always very anxious because I feel like I'm a loud player and I love talking when I play D&D. And it's so nice watching somebody, especially like a woman who's like, I'm really excited to be here, and you can tell, and she's loud about it. It feels really good to watch. So I'm like, I want somebody like that at my table. Because then, you know, we can all be loud and excited to play D&D together. So that's like one person that I can definitely think of. I think from Critical Role, you get the same kind of vibe from like Marisha Ray. Like, oh, like I like seeing like other people who are louder playing D&D. It makes me feel really good as somebody who's loudly excited to be at the table.
You like that shared
so
energy.
Shared energy, yeah.
Yeah.
So those are the first two people that come to mind. I don't watch a lot of other D&D streams. I'm really trying to get through Dimension 20 right now, so that's literally all I can think about. I'm excited for, this is unrelated, I'm excited for the Seven Sirens that's coming
Oh,
That's gonna be
me
cool.
I'm like-
too.
I'm
The
like,
maidens
cool,
are
a
going to be
table
so
with-
cool.
Yeah, I'm very excited for the mains. I can't remember the character's name, but the little like fish.
Oh,
The one-
crap. Yes, I know who you're talking about,
That
but I
design
can't
is-
remember which one it is.
The design is adorable. I'm like, am I gonna pop out the body paint for this one?
I
So cute.
I finally got into Dimension 20. I started listening to Fantasy High, and I'm listening to season 2 right now. And because everybody was like, so like, you need to do this, and then everybody was like, these are the characters you're gonna like want to be, and I was like, well, okay, you weren't
The
wrong.
rite of passage.
Yeah. I'm like,
Which
and then-
character? Wait, which character? Sorry.
So everybody thought I was gonna be Adine, which I would still love to do. But I love Zelda Donovan so much. I love Zelda so much. I listened to the first season of Fantasy High and immediately, I think I might have like Snapchatted Adam and just been like, I put the stuff for that on my cosplay wish list. I immediately was like, and I found things to cosplay her. I was like so happy.
Zelda is like the cutest character. I completely agree with you. I love her dearly.
I love that Brennan is still playing Zelda in the Maidens.
I think
It's very
it
good.
works.
Yeah.
I think it works.
I love
Otherwise,
it.
it'd be like, it's not Zelda. So
Yeah.
I think it'll work out great. And all the players at the table look amazing. I'm very excited. Yeah. So
I really want to cosplay. Oh my god, I'm voiding his name right now. But
What?
the counselor,
Jawbone.
Jawbone. Yeah, I really want to cosplay Jawbone.
That would be
Come on, man.
Absolutely, please do, so we can go to a con and you can be my guardian.
His
As
artwork is so
Adine.
good. He's just kind of like with the coffee, like super chill with like the sweater vest and the like.
I love it. It's so good.
Cosplay Jawbone so I can be Adine and cry when you yell it.
Do it.
God, that was such a good moment.
It's so good. It makes me cry.
Oh,
That entire show is so good.
you would be a fantastic
Nothing.
Adine, by the way.
You
Thank
would,
you.
absolutely.
She's a relatable character.
Have you done any Dimension 20 cosplay yet?
I haven't. I wanted to be Riz's mom.
Oh my gosh, yes.
She's a MILF. And
Detective Gutgag. Whoop whoop.
Do it.
I really, really like her character too. I want to
She's
listen to season 2 though. I haven't yet, but I'm working my way up to season 2 of Fantasy High. Not to derail the conversation, not to go off the rails.
Off the rails. 'cause
Every
that's a different program.
Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. I almost said Sunday for some reason.
You're like, wrong. Never mind.
I should know.
You should. You're on that show. Let's see. Cremaniac asked, what was your favorite DM breaking moment that happened? And best natural 1 or 20, if you remember them.
I can't remember when my DM has broken or if my DMs have ever been fully in character ever. Mostly there's a lot of like out of character talking. I don't remember any particular time where my DM's broken and been like, I need a minute. Mostly because I don't tell very funny jokes. Like I can imagine a DM laughing at a joke, but I'm not exactly funny when I play a campaign. So I can't imagine any of that, but I definitely played a Call of Cthulhu game where I guess it wasn't natural 20s, but I was rolling, there's like high success, so like success, good success, and then like high success. I rolled like 3 or 4 high successes in a row and just like killed the dude. Like he was just dead. Like I killed the monster, which doesn't happen very often in Call of Cthulhu.
You were like, I did it.
I just like punted him out of the train and he was gone. And like I saved everybody on the train and it was awesome. So just like feeling like success after success after success and you're like it's gonna end and then it doesn't and you get to do the really cool thing you wanted to do feels so good. I love it.
Yeah.
Nothing feels better than doing exactly what you intended to do in D&D because usually that doesn't happen.
It's rare, yeah, that is certainly true.
And usually this is what I'd like to do and my dice said to go fuck yourself. So
yeah, especially, well, I like Call of Cthulhu specifically because it's you have to roll low numbers. I don't roll high. Ever. Like it's very rare that I'll have like I'll get like a good streak going, but like I roll like solid 6s and 7s most of the time, which isn't exactly what you want. So it feels very good to roll many good things in a row, even though it's low numbers. Like like 2s and 3s, it's like, oh great, and it feels really, really good.
I love systems. I love going from systems like Call of Cthulhu and then we have a Pathfinder game and being like, what do you mean that the 20-something didn't hit? Like, what do you...
Yeah, I'm confused.
We're not that high level. What do you... The numbers are so high in Pathfinder, it's insane.
It drives me crazy as somebody who is a poor roller. I'm like, so it's impossible. I've had, like, barbarians go down in Pathfinder, like, right off the bat. I'm like, okay, so how am I... I'm the one that's supposed to be doing the big damage, and now I'm out. And it's very, very frustrating. Pathfinder's very difficult.
The system's out for blood. Like, you have to go into Pathfinder, like, any of us might die, and I have to be okay with that. Because it is very much
not for the faint of heart.
Yeah. It's an ass kicker.
It's so funny. We were just talking about you low rolling. I love you, Adam. Mr. Adam asked if you had a... Adam rolls very, very low. A lot. And
he does.
Commiserate with you. He says, if you had to class yourself as a D&D class, IRL, what would you be?
It's a really good question.
Oh, God.
I love that one.
That
one's always really fun.
I am not particularly... Okay, I can't dance, sing, play instrument, not a bard.
There can be other kinds of bards, but continue. I believe in you.
Ugh, no, I can't imagine myself being a bard. To perform, to do well, doesn't work out for me. So, I'm also not very strong. I can't be a martial type in real life. Emotionally, perhaps. But realistically, there's not a lot of punching happening. Maybe a warlock? Simple. I don't have to learn anything. I just have to be super committed to one thing. Or I guess one person. Like have a patron. So I could be committed. Sure.
This question is telling us so much about you as a human being and the way you perceive yourself.
It really is.
I think
there's a lot. I just want to like. I'm like, we need to get you to a therapist.
Well, no, but like
I'm kidding.
Okay, I loved as soon as you were like emotionally, like emotional strength. That could be a martial class, and my brain was just like immediately like, I wonder if there's a way to like homebrew one of the martial classes into like completely being on emotional strength and not on
I feel like that might be
on like physical strength.
I feel like that's kind of a paladin vibe.
A little bit,
because a paladin, I guess like I'd probably be in like a paladin warlock kind of range where paladins and warlocks are pretty similar kind of.
Yeah.
That, like,
Weirdly,
is
yeah.
dedicated to something.
It's just who you pray to.
Yes, exactly. I've seen a lot of paladins who are like, oh, you're just like dedicated to like your lover and a promise you made.
I
Yeah.
love that entire
I've seen
TikTok
stuff like
that went
that, and I'm
around
like-
that was like about a warlock and a paladin, like their vows were just to each other. I thought that was very cute.
That is incredible.
They were married.
romantic.
It was very cute.
Yes, that I can see that kind of vibe. I'm like, I'm not very strong.
That's so
I
romantic.
don't want to learn any spells. Not very smart. I'm not, I'm not spell smart, I feel like. So I feel like I could dedicate myself to something enough to be like a paladin or a warlock.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would work out. I think that's a...
You're like, I believe in my commitment, my ability to commit.
I think strong-willed is a good word.
Yeah.
So I'll stick with that. I think, yeah, paladin or warlock, depending on the cards that are dealt, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
That's a
right.
good question. That was too much thinking.
Yeah, it's a
Good
very
answer,
good question.
too.
It's always really fun to hear people talk through it too. It's very, very fun.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. We've got 2 more questions, and then we'll probably call it. Let's see. So
Yeah.
Adam also asked, "What D&D item would you want in real life?"
Good question.
I feel like the easiest answer is bag of holding.
I think that was my answer.
I
The
have
Mary Poppins
so,
bag.
It's a
I
good
have
answer.
so
too.
much garbage that I just wish I could throw in there, and then when I think of it, pull it out. I can't even do that in my normal room. Like, I can't go, ooh, I need this, and then go find it. Like, my room's always a mess. Everything's in disarray constantly. So if I could just reach into something and go, here's the thing I want, that's already worth it. I would love a bag of holding.
I mean, that's
I
a
think-
classic and good answer.
It is a very good
I
answer.
can get
It's
mine.
the most, like, I could use that in real life, too. Like, if I have a big magical sword, it's not exactly useful.
What do I do with
Spend the
this?
time in real life? Yeah, I can't go around stabbing. So,
Curse you, laws!
curse you laws. I can't have a big magical sword. Fine, whatever.
Whatever.
I'll get a bag.
I guess I'll take the hand back. Thanks.
Yeah, sure.
Let's see. And then Cremaniac asked, "What feat and spell would you want in real life? Be able to use?"
Ooh. Well, one of my favorite spells, like in game, I love Misty Step.
Mm-hmm.
I could
But-
spell, yes.
Once again, I don't know how useful that one is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god.
Real world applications are always fun.
Yeah, because it's like, well, I'm not.
I'd use
shooting
it to get
firebolts
to
everywhere.
my car when it's raining.
Ooh, that could be almost.
There are a
like
lot. I could think of so many
Like-
applications for Misty Step.
I know it's a cantrip, but I always feel like if I'm asked like feat and spell, I'm like keen mind and
Okay.
prestidigitation.
Prestidigitation would be very fun.
It has so many like it's a cantrip, not like a spell. But like it just has so many real world applications.
It
I feel like
counts.
the cantrips are very like practical, though. Like that's why they are cantrips. So I feel like that's why it would work.
Yeah,
in
you
real
know,
life
every
the
once in a while
most.
you just want a vicious mockery of somebody. Like just every once in a while you want your insults to really have that little extra stab. Like
Like it does hurt. Like
yeah,
I need
you're
it
like
hurt.
that. I'm like, actually, I'd really like this to like have an effect here for you to understand.
Gotta sting for real though.
Yeah, this is
so.
teaching you a lesson.
I want
This
to
is
cut you deeply with my words.
Vicious Mockery would not mind, but I think Misty Step, like I could like hop to my fridge with like 2 spell slots.
Yeah.
So
true.
that might be the most convenient.
How far
Like-
is the range on that Misty Step? I don't think I've ever actually had
30
it.
feet.
I was
30?
gonna say, yeah, I think it's 30.
There's a lot you can do in 30 feet.
Yeah, 30 feet's a good distance. So, I don't know, Misty Step might work if you're looking for a spell, but you saying prestidigitation made me think. I think
Yeah.
I could come up with a lot of little, like, oh, my water cup's empty. I don't even have to go to the fridge.
Yeah.
I just make it appear. It's real, right?
It
With
would always look
prestidigitation.
presentable.
I would look,
Mhm.
yeah, I could fix my eyeliner. I wouldn't even have to bring
Just
anything
a like
else in there.
immediate like just haha, my makeup's done. Can you imagine?
That's incredibly
As a
convenient. Might be-
cosplayer, disguised self would also be very good.
Very
That's
good.
true. Could you use prestidigitation to make yourself look? Is that too much?
It's
cantrip,
fairly
probably.
simple with prestidigitation.
Yeah, not full body paint.
Yeah.
Ooh, maybe disguise self then.
Disguise
Wouldn't have
self
to
for
spend
sure.
2 hours with the body paint.
You're just like, I'm here.
Then I
I'm
could
done.
really look like the character. Like I could be like 1-for-1, which would be very fun. Like photo accuracy is kind of neat when it's like that's incredibly similar. So I don't know, maybe disguise self, because whenever I say what I want my superpower to be, usually it's like shape shifting, because I'm like, that would be really neat. I could make myself look like whoever I wanted. It would work great for cosplay. So yeah, maybe disguise self.
I like the warlock and paladin answer, but like, did you think about druid? I don't know why. I just feel like you'd have a lot of fun turning into animals.
I think that would be incredibly fun. I just don't know if I'm enough naturey in real life. Like,
Are you like outside?
no,
bit?
I like going outside.
Okay.
I think I'm just bad out there. I'm out there. I'm like, it doesn't.
You're like,
want
my
me out
survival
there.
score is just a little bit low.
That was
It's
such a
not-
mood thing. Like,
I like outside. Outside doesn't like me.
I'm just bad at it.
No, like whenever I'm going uphill, I'm like, this is bad. It shouldn't be here, kind of thing. Like I'll go on like a hike, and I'm like,
Don't
"Ugh,
look
why
at
am I
me
going
through
up?"
the camera. Don't.
What?
Don't do
What?
that.
What?
You're the one who, for 2 days in Denver, like the first like 2 days I was there, Josh was like, make sure you're drinking water. The altitude change is a real thing. And then he took me fucking like hiking.
Now climb
up
this
4 or 5
mountain.
flights of stairs, and I was like, stop it. I was
See, that's what I mean. Nature sometimes should not be uphill. Nature should just all be like
Yeah,
downhill,
like,
or
you
even.
know.
Yeah, the drinking water. I'm not. I don't think I'm enough of a nature person for druid. I don't think it'll happen.
You could be a
It'd
druid
nice.
of the
Maybe
city.
if I was a druid, I'd spend more time outside though. Who's to say?
You could be a
I wouldn't
city
wanna take
druid.
that gamble. A city.
Yeah.
I turn into like a pizza rat.
You're
I'm
pizza
picturing
rats,
I'm picturing the
trash
rat keeper.
pandas. You
the
got
rat keeper
pigeons.
from the Suicide Squad movie.
You could
Yeah,
absolutely
you
be,
could
yeah.
absolutely.
You could just be a.
That would be kind of fun.
I'd also love
That
to
would be
do
kind of
a swarm ranger along those
yeah.
lines, where you're just a person who's lived in the streets and communed with the rats of the city.
Didn't
the pigeons and stuff. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Why am I?
That'd be cool.
Somebody had a character. Was that you?
Sean.
Or
Sean had a rat.
Sean had a
Yeah.
had a swarm one that was like rats. It was
It
so
was magnificent. It was so well done.
Very scary.
good. Yeah,
you don't
in
think
real
it's
world.
scary until it starts to happen, and then you're like, oh, that guy's being eaten by those rats. Like, ooh, that's your power is definitely the scariest. Like that guy can zap somebody with lightning, but you're like making rats kill this guy. That's so scary.
Somehow it's worse. Like,
Somehow it's worse.
I'm like, that's gonna take a second. The lightning probably would have just been done.
Yeah, it's drawn out.
This is multiple rounds of rats on this man. This is
I'm
really
like-
messed up.
It's brutal.
Unfortunate. Well, on that happy note,
On the rat eating people note, we should probably end.
okay.
Well, okay. So, what did we get done, guys? How far did we? I painted some shoulder. There's silver now. A lot of silver.
I painted the front of a dragon
Look at
I
that
got my-
dragon.
with the
I
base
got my
color.
guy. It's like a blue
Nice.
red gradient almost. It needs some touching up.
I
but
love that.
It's very pretty.
I like fun colors on guys, so I was trying to go out.
Well done. That was your first freaking mini.
Not far enough.
You did it.
You got really far, honestly.
Yeah.
The fact that you have a gradient on there is impressive. You've got that prop builder skill.
I zoned into the questions and just went.
Just
Very,
to pay
very
attention.
fun.
So, okay, here's what we're gonna do. Haley, tell the people where they can find you.
Once again, Hailierosie, Haile, Rosie, as you would think it's spelled. On pretty much everything. If you type it in, you'll be able to find it. I'm gonna be on Welcome In this Sunday. I'm very excited. Not gonna talk about my character on that though.
Nope.
That's a secret. I'm dressing up as my character tomorrow to take some pictures though, so that will be fun. But yeah, that's the next time I should be doing something big. So yeah, check it out then. That'll be very fun.
Yeah.
So
Very
be
excited.
there or be square,
Facts.
like Gooey Cube, the gooeyest of cube companies.
Good job.
Speaking of announcements, we couldn't do any of this cool stuff without our partners. Do you see that segue?
I did
That
see
was
the
phenomenal.
segue.
Now that
Oh,
you pointed it out, it's not as good.
Yeah. I have to stop
you
and
just
bask
your
in that
mouth.
compliment.
Did you see how great that was? Interrupting the segment.
Did you? Everybody
Did
open
you hear
my
that
video.
great joke? It's like when you explain it afterwards.
The bit has layers, guys. The bit has layers.
Here we are.
Okay, so yes, our partner Soundtail, they bring all that cool ambiance, and you guys can get a copy of Soundtail as well. It's a link in chat. Purchase it for yourselves. It's very good. We highly recommend it. We love Soundtail. They've been with us for a long, long time. We really appreciate them. Parker, over to you for affiliate stuff.
Of course. So we are affiliated with Found Familiar Coffee. If you'd like 10% off of your D&D inspired coffee, you can use the code in chat. You can also use that very same code at Crafty Gamer. It's the Crafty Gamer store. They have this wonderful candle that they sent me, the Aromas of Adventure. So it's a lot of fun. This one smells like Conundrum Company. We gave one away, and they're coming out with even more scents. So if you like immersive gaming, there you go. And then also, shout out to Arcane Anthems, who does all of our themes, including the one in the loading screen today. So yeah, there you go.
And of course, a huge thank you to our moderators who keep our community very, very safe and wonderful. They help with this show, highlighting questions and throwing out all these announcements as I make brilliant segues that make their job super easy. Very glorious. We love you, mods. Honestly, beyond my stupid idiocy. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. And Haley, thank you for being with us for this. Yeah.
Thank you guys for having me. It's been very, very fun. My first mini, not too bad. So
You hit it out of the park.
big W all around.
On that win, bye everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Hey guys,